island with lots of resources. Yes, we the people are the ones that run afoul of the law, and as she says, we have been doing what we want without any kind of consequence, without repercussions. But that speaks to the system itself. That speaks to a particular cycle of incompetence. And this goes from, sad to say, those who are held to uphold the law, and even the law system, those within the legal framework. You know, we're talking here the judiciary right back down to those who arrest. And we're not trying to knock, at least I'm not trying to knock the agencies, because I know they try their very best. But we have to consider, if there is to be a law and order, look at all those countries where there's this so-called law and order. There's a judicial system that runs in a timely manner. You have officers who are committed, who are given the tools, given the payment package that will give them the motivation to go out there and put their life at risk. You find systems in place where there is major surveillance, working cameras in every corner. Look at China's model. China, they are in a landmass there with about 1 billion people. And there is law and order there because, and people feel safe because, I mean, surveillance everywhere, face recognition, you name it, the full works. They have invested, I can't even say millions, probably billions, I'm sure, in technology. So there is lots to be considered, multiple limbs of consideration when we treat with this whole law and order issue. And it also starts from the youngsters at home, in the schools. Yes, we're trying to bring it back, and we have seen where officers are now being positioned in schools that are, you know, troubled. So I guess, I mean, probably it's an attempt, you know, put higher fees. It might give people at least the mindset to think twice, to not break the law, to not take a chance, because if indeed under this particular order here, you run afoul of the law, especially on the road, oh, your bank account will be in shambles. You'll feel it to your core. And I guess it's probably a deterrent. It must be. It must be that kind of deterrent to make you say, you know what? Instead of making a U-turn, instead of trying to cut short, let me do the right thing. And you know, for that to even take place, there needs to be, you know, whether it be traffic wardens, police people on the ball to detect and to now come in and intervene and give said ticket or to said fine. So it's one of those circular arguments. If we get to open up the lines later on, I'd love to hear from you, TNT. But indeed, yeah, it's real. Hefty penalty hikes now going forward into 2026 and customs fees going up. But I have some questions to ask Mr. Anisette concerning that customs development. So I look forward to that. And in terms of a dump, I take serious I think horrors, to be quite honest, if I put it in local terms. This is not my country. Yes, we might be lawless, right? We talk about discipline, tolerance, production. Tolerance, yes. Production, oh yes, we produce. The discipline we're still working on. But at the same time, no, we live here and we don't live in a dump. There's a dump on your way to the city. We could work on that. That's something we could work on if you tell me, you know, something, I don't even know how I end up there in the first place. So that's a whole different conversation. But the country itself, don't do me that. Don't do me that. The only dump I know is the one going down the highway and the one heading to the city. And is there one more? I think that should be about it. And there's one in Tobago. You know, I've never seen the dump in Tobago. Where's the, we have a man here from Tobago. Where's the dump in Tobago? What part of Tobago they dispose of their waste? I have no idea. I'd love Tobago to tell me one day. All right, so let's head to the back page, see what's happening for today, Monday. Chase on the brink. Bishop questions leadership after winless 2025. I mean, we really, I don't know how more low we could go when it comes to the cricket. I mean, obviously we saw Australia kind of went to all-time low with their test over the Christmas holiday where they lost like in 2 days. England really dealt with them. But the thing is, they would have won the series. They would have won the series already. So nonetheless, that was kind of, I guess, a foregone conclusion. I do think Australia really showed. They didn't really put probably the best foot forward. But nonetheless, AFCON is going on. Lots of AFCON action, African Cup of Nations. Right, so, you know, for those who are able to get the stream and enjoy some of the big games, Nigeria, you have Morocco there, Egypt, Senegal, all the big teams with some of the biggest players out of Europe, the Syria A in Italy. We have big players from Africa in the English Premier League, in Bundesliga, all over. So the AFCON is a great tournament. I'm just surprised, you know, we've never really, in my lifetime, seen the AFCON on free-to-air. So that's something I'll talk to management and see if the next AFCON we could probably get some corporate sponsorship and bring the AFCON, have a nice little panel and the team, because I mean this is a big tournament. We bring the Euros, we bring all kind of Copa America, we bring stuff in the past, but we're not bringing AFCON. I don't know, probably the rights, I don't know, that's the business side of TV. And you know, it's always about dollars and cents, and if it makes sense, if it making sense, it's going to make dollars, and if it's not making sense, well, I guess people have to find a way to see it. Before we get to the brief, I've just been reliably informed that the dump in Tobago is in a place called, is it Sandy Park? You mentioned there, Sheldon? Studley. Okay. Somewhere there. I don't even know which part is that. You know, I've never in all my years in Tobago. Or between Mount St. George and Goodwood is what I understand. Well hidden, I have no idea, you know. It's not something the average Trinbagonian or tourist will see. Unfortunately, we see it heading down south, right in Claxton Bay, big and serious, Kobo all over the place, and on our way to the city. And you know, on our way to the city, beyond the dump being there and sometimes the smell we would get, what's going on with the bush all over Trinidad and Tobago, buddy? Let me don't say Tobago. I don't know what's going on in Tobago, but I can safely say with no fear of contradiction, in Trinidad here, it's almost like the same way I see a man washing his unmentionables every morning on my way to work, right on Abercrombie. I've grown accustomed. It's almost like when I see it, I don't see it anymore. The first time I saw it, I was kind of like in shock. I said this already morning, boy, this is what I have to bear witness to. A man is washing his unmentionables there in the drain, and the man is splashing. And if you see the splash out. And I haven't eaten no breakfast yet, I drink no tea. After 5 in the morning, I said, my goodness. So now when I see the splash out, I just kind of look away and I just keep it pushing. And I think that's the same way we are with the bush. There's bush everywhere, all on the Lady Young, Santa Cruz, coming into Port of Spain. Tall, razor grass liking themselves. Razor grass getting a chance to flex. And I guess, more or less, you know, I guess we have grown accustomed. It's almost like, well, you know, you see it and, well, it's there now, and it's probably part of the, that's part of the new aesthetic. We'll see how things pan out in 2026. I hope there's a change, and there must be, at least the line minister, Khadija, Minister Amin mentioned that there's going to be a new unit to treat with this issue. So let's see how things pan out. Yeah, you know, really quick before the brief, I'm seeing here an ex-national footballer was gunned down in Port of Spain. That's actually on the front page. Hoist. You know, I'm really, really saddened by that particular development, because here it is, you know, these are players who would represent the country. And to know he was dealt with in such a brutal manner, his last moments on Charlotte Street, you know, bleeding out. It's a real heartbreaker, and I want to extend condolences to the family and the football fraternity on a whole. 27, the man is, well, was in the prime of his life. You know, 27 is a place where there is still so much potential. And yet again, another family having to go to forensics and plan a funeral for a loved one who clearly gone too soon. You know, I don't know what to say again now. These stories, I mean, we don't know the backstory. I don't know the backstory, but no one, regardless of what, deserves to go in such a manner. Let's head now to the brief on this Monday morning. And via the brief, I'm looking at a development here where a man is having a time there at Maracas Bay. All right, that's Zane. He showcases his skills in something called skimboarding. So he is more or less kind of doing a surf business there on the, well, more or less on the shore. And that's where probably I would tackle any kind of surfing down Maracas. I don't play Maracas at all, you know, them waves to the front. You see Maracas and more so Mayaro? Oh, not me. No, I don't play. I don't play at all. You have to know what you're doing, especially water too. You know, as they always say, the elders say, the ocean don't have no branch. You know, so you have to take your time and be very mindful this festive season when you head to the beach. So well done there, Zane. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica maintains the region must remain a zone of peace. And I think for some reason we're getting this zone of peace labeling all wrong. A zone of peace means exactly that, a regional zone of peace. Our Prime Minister went to UN and mentioned that we are not a zone of peace because of our domestic criminal enterprise and the scourge of drugs and the murders that comes with it and all that we would have experienced via the kidnappings and the just crime that, you know, we all had to live through for decades. Obviously, since I can't remember when I was like small, but I know for sure when I kind of got into a place of awareness in my teens, in school, it was there. Well, of course, the coup opened the whole thing open. The coup opened up a scab that I don't think we have ever been able to heal. And that 1990 coup was a kind of wake-up call. Many had no idea we had that kind of capacity. We had men in the country with that kind of belly to run up on a government, shoot the Prime Minister. People died in that coup in 1990, and subsequently everybody from that coup was able to walk free. So that in itself, I think, created such a watershed moment and put a precedent forward that criminal enterprise or anybody who, you know, went down that road figure, well, hey, anything is anything. And that was a lost opportunity. But obviously, that time already passed. We have found ourselves in this modern time where, yes, we locally, peace is something that we still, many don't feel it, they don't really live in that reality, because you see the burglar proof, you see all the different security cameras everywhere, you see and feel sometimes that tension. But when we consider the region, we have never in my lifetime seen that kind of military build-up, that kind of arsenal in the waters just waiting. So it's another discussion we'll have in the new year, but I want to thank you for tuning in. Up next, Mr. Anisette, Michael Anisette. He is going to join me, President General of the SWWTU, to treat with the custom fees increase and just give us a review of the labor movement in this calendar year, 2025. Michael Anisette up next.
Chiclesia Limited, the Caribbean's largest manufacturers of plain and printed paper bags, leaders in plastic bags, vermicelli, split piece powder, and greaseproof paper, ideal for doubles, french fries, and sandwiches. Supplying stores nationwide. For quality products, trust Chiclesia Limited, 665-3336. Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order. Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, Endeavour, Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
President General of the SWWTU, Michael Anisette, is here with me live on set. Let me extend greetings to you, comrade. Obviously we have had great conversations during this calendar year. I thank you for making the time, whether it was on the Zoom line or in person. And I want to wish you and yours blessings going into 2026. Great to see you as always.
Yeah, my pleasure. And let me also thank you for the opportunity to be here and extend best wishes to Trinidad and Tobago, and let us hope that we will see the improvements that I know we are quite capable of doing if we put our collective wisdom together.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate that. I want to get your perspective, if I could pick your brain for a few, with the increase via the custom fees. Now, granted, some of the businesses who conduct their trade and who will be doing that moving of goods via the port, we're dealing here with big money. Some of these containers, millions worth in the containers, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. Is this increase really going to impact the business interests in any meaningful way? Some suggest they might, suggest that they might or should be able to absorb this increase.
No, but I think historically the data would not support what people are saying. If there's any increases, as minute as it may be, the general public must absorb that cost.
So you anticipate this will trickle down to the consumer next year?
Yeah, because it will have increases in goods and services as a consequence, because I am not in my business to lose money. And if there's an increased portfolio for me, how do I get back that revenue? Because that is revenue going out, and business is about revenue going out and revenue coming in. So I don't support that view, and I'm quite frankly, I think that the government is on a revenue drive, given the positions that they have found themselves in. So there's a lot of other mechanisms as it relates to increasing prices, like I see that you have 100% in increasing if your license is not good, if your car oil is leaking, etc. Yeah, but I want to speak to that in my own way, because you see the increase without having what I would want to call the infrastructure for what I will call productivity, and increase productivity, and in terms of those other fines, right? If we don't have what I want to call an implementation mechanism that is on spot, increase in prices do not make sense, because I've done the research, and even the OEC and the World Bank says, hey, you got to be careful about that. You need to have an implementation mechanism whereby you have your police officers and them making sure that workers, citizenry, or anybody who breaks the law, they are punished by way of fines, 1, 2, but more importantly, points, and the taking away of your driver's permit if you continue to make those errors and mistakes.
Well, let me say, President General, as it pertains to the taxation scenario, the Prime Minister said, and I want to quote her here, she said the government was losing money. She said, we are using taxpayer dollars to subsidize these operations, right? So they were using taxpayers' money. She says these operations need to pay for themselves and not be a burden on taxpayers. What's your reaction to that statement?
That is politically correct, but what is the reality? That has been economic policy of the government, the rent economy, and you pass it down to the community. That has been the policy. So then to make that statement, I will say I understand what the Prime Minister is trying to say, but we have to do a deeper nosedive to understand what are the implications and what causes that particular issue. And I have been arguing as the General Secretary of NATOC too, that we need to change the economic policy and we need to get together collectively, meaning business, labor, and the government, to really sit down and drill down on what kind of economic policy that we want to have. Bringing labor, the issue that we have always raised, and I'll raise it today, the issue of productivity is so critical in Trinidad and Tobago, one, and how do we compete in the international market? Those are fundamental issues, that we have to address if we are serious at making that transformational changes that we are talking about.
So if this increase and the monies from it are channeled in the right direction, could you see an improvement, let's say in equipment, let's say even when the remuneration of those who work at the port? Because we want the port to be first class, to be on par with any world-class port across the world, and I know there are some issues you would have brought that to us over the years. Could you see any silver lining at all via this taxation increase?
No, taxation increases cannot and does not in a meaningful way address those shortcomings that you are talking about. If you do the research, is a percentum. It is much as 0.2 to as much as 10%. Is 10% required to carry the port where we want to carry? I am saying no. Or any other state or government institution won. But I want to make a point which I have been making, that notwithstanding what people may have been saying about the port, we are one of the statutory bodies and government institutions that generate sufficient revenue in order for us to pay our wages to our workers. And that says something about the port. And the point that I continue to make, and I'll make it in this domain, that what we need is the kind of infrastructure and the kinds of tools that is necessary for us to realize our potential and our ability to compete regionally and internationally. And those are the conversations that we must have. I understand the issue of taxation. You want to raise revenue. I am quite aware that you have to find over $12 billion to pay, all right, for the last 10 years, which the past regime, right, allowed to happen. And it is unfair to workers to have them working 12 years without salary increases. And I want to compliment the government for taking that bold step and brave step and saying, listen, we're going to offer 10% and we're going to start at 10%. That does something for our economy, which people don't pay attention. Because if I'm a worker and I don't have the ability to buy the goods and services that is necessary to keep an economy going, all right, what happens? The economy goes at a standstill. The economy suffers. It goes at the economic precipice. And we have to understand there is a relationship and a process that I'm calling on the government, and I hope that they listen to what the labor movement is saying. We need to find ourselves in a space whereby the question of wage-led growth and job-led growth and productivity tied into wage increases becomes a mantra and part of our economic DNA. And I think that is what is needed, some innovative and creative changes in how we do business if we have to address what you are talking about.
When we consider labor in 2025, would you say it was a good year for labor? Because I know labor played an integral role in getting the administration over the line. We saw labor endorse the UNC on the campaign trail, and more so the UNC delivering on their promise with the 10%, at least that particular mandate was adhered to. So when we look at labor on a whole and the influence in 2025, was it one of your more productive years?
No, I wouldn't say so. And while I will say yes, and we make no apologies for it, we supported the UNC given the pass regime policies that was anti-workers as far as we are concerned, and they did nothing for the ordinary citizen, the single parents, the single women, and the depressed communities. Having said that, we are still in a position playing catch-up, our purchasing power, to buy goods and services, because one has to remember, and we don't pay attention to that at all, you know. We don't pay attention. While there is a depression on wages, the goods and services still goes up, you know. Go in the market now, go in the grocery now, see what the price is, and why the Prime Minister would have taken off, which is good, VAT on certain items. The fact is, there's no control mechanism to address, the question of the increase in goods and services. We talk about market forces, let it play itself, but when it comes to wages, we talk about market forces. And those are the contradictions that we have to deal with in 2026. And I'm saying not until every government employee who would have suffered, port workers and everybody, get their increases that are due to them, then I'll be happy. And why there's a commitment to start it in 2026, we will wait and see. I have confidence that the Prime Minister is a woman of her word. She's a strong-willed person. I understand her because I study her. I remember her when she was chair of the CARICOM heads in 2013, and the stand that she took on certain issues. And I appreciate that. But having said that, I'm making this public appeal. We need to work collectively. We cannot operate in silos. The government one place, the private sector one place, labor one place. It would not work. It worked in Singapore where everybody come together. Let us try a new model now, please, because we have the capability. We have the ability, we have the skills. And I want to compliment also, take this opportunity to compliment the new board of the Port Authority, who have been engaging with the union, at a level that is insightful and is something which we are appreciative of. And we are hoping that we could work together to see the port evolve into a port that we can be happy about in Trinidad and Tobago, where goods and services are delivered on a timely basis.
Comrade Anissa, as we wrap things up, that collaboration that you speak of, how does that become a reality in 2026? That collaboration, that working cohesion, that unit between private sector, public sector, and, well, private, government, and labor, that model that works in Singapore. Who needs to really take charge to ensure that what you speak of becomes a reality in 2026?
All right, it's not about taking charge. It's about the realities. Forces us to realize that the question of social dialogue, the question of tripartitism, the question of the major stakeholder coming together for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Right, and it addresses everything. Even crime can be solved, in my humble view, if we take that approach.
But someone needs to take the initiative, I would imagine, to make it happen.
Well, the fact that I'm here, the fact that I'm mentioning it, the fact that I've been preaching that year in and year out.
So labor.
Is an initiative.
Yes.
And labor have always placed, we have always placed that concept on the table, and I will continue to be knocking at the economic door until it is open to welcome that concept.
So it doesn't have to be adversarial all the time. It doesn't have to be a pulling and tugging.
No, but you see, again, history has taught us that each period coughs up and throw out a particular kind of relationship. We have reached in the 21st century where we have learned from our mistakes, where labor and business, labor and capital work hand in hand. It cannot work, because if you don't have labor, what happens? If you have capital without labor, if you don't have productivity, what happens? So then there is a relationship, and the government cannot do it by their own. You have to develop the middle class, you have to develop your business community, your small business, and that requires, in my humble view, sitting down and drilling down on those issues and come up with a format to carry Trinidad and Tobago forward in 2026.
As you mentioned labor, I've always wanted to ask you, who will represent, or who could step up to represent all those migrant workers, those folks from Venezuela and far removed, who are part of the labor force, but for many do not have any kind of representation and are sometimes getting money below the standard required rate, below the books, wrong envelope below the table? Who treats and represents that major workforce?
All right, the first thing that we have to understand that in Trinidad, there is a minimum wage and certain laws and regulations, all right? And that speaks to everybody. The issue is how do we implement it? What is the mechanism, process that we have in place to ensure, like the labor inspectors and all these people, to make the required visit, to ensure that the business community do not exploit someone because they're from Venezuela or any place, because everybody is a human being, and the question of equity and treating people with respect and dignity must be part of our new policy. And therefore, the question of what I'm talking about, the stakeholders coming together, inclusive of labor, government, and our business, to sit down and drill down on these issues and really pave a way for Trinidad and Tobago, which is gifted. All right, we need to start thinking that way. I know we have the adversarial politics, UNC, PNM, but we have to go beyond that. We must now decide that we are all Trinidadians and Tobagonians, and therefore, what can we do as a people, as a government, as a business community, to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place for everyone, not a certain group or class of people.
Comrade Anisat, I'm glad we have some time this morning, and as we wrap things up officially, because we really got some, we gave you some extra time this morning, because we always say we want to do a deeper dive into these issues.
Yes, and I appreciate it.
Of course. I want to ask you, in terms of just your message going into 2026 to the nation, and just some of the changes you would love to see within the labor space. So this is really your moment to speak directly to all those you represent, all those voices. Well, you lift your voice for sometimes those who are voiceless. So this is your chance to talk to the nation as we go into 2026.
All right. What I will say, one, I think whatever I do is rooted in spirituality. All right. And then therefore, we have to go back into understanding that, we manifest our own reality through our God within us. And we have to learn to tap into that and get back to that place. And more importantly, with the protection of our ancestors and guidance of our ancestors. We cannot leave that spirituality aspect of who we are really as a people out of whatever we are doing. And having said that, the question of productivity, the question of decent wages, the question of workers' understanding that we have to put our wheel right to the economic system in order for it to grow. And we cannot continue as a society and as a people to work 2 hours and expect to get paid for 8 hours. That is not a good thing. And we have to now start to change our educational system. And we have to start to address the issue with the youths. Because, as an elder in the trade union movement, as a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather, I am taken aback with the kind of crime and violence that I'm seeing, and the young people who are so directionless, because I carry some of my grand and my last daughter to C3, and the kind of violence that I was seeing there, and South Park with young people. I mean, it was frightening, and it tells me something. Like the man in the mirror, we need to take a look at that, because the youths are our future. And we want to tell the youths, have hope, we love you, and we want to work with you. And you have to work with us, and I'm there for we can build a better Trinidad and Tobago for all if we collectively work together for a better Trinidad and Tobago. And it's not about it's not about me, it's not about what it is in it for me, it's about what it is for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago, where everybody can benefit.
Comrade, sincere thanks.
Pleasure, this man.
And I look forward to pleasure.
2026.
Yeah,
we have to start
more.
batting.
Yeah, and plenty more to discuss.
More to come.
Oh my goodness,
Right.
Great stuff on this Monday. Let's take the pause and we come back and I'll get you up to speed with our weather update. See you soon.
Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I say hip hip hooray.
Bring the magic home this Christmas with G-Mar Home Furnishers. Enjoy up to 30% off store-wide and make your home shine this season. From elegant furniture to modern appliances and more. Shop online and stay tuned to our social media pages for exciting weekly sale drops. Take advantage of our extended opening hours all Christmas season at our El Dorado and California showrooms. Call 235-4925 for more information or visit us in store. G-Mar Home Furnishers, best value for your money.
At Guardian General Insurance, we know your home is more than just a building. It's where your family feels safe and where memories are made. That's why we're here to protect not just your house, but the people and dreams inside it. We are your partner, working alongside you to provide the right protection, the right support, and the peace of mind you deserve. With Guardian General Insurance, you can live safe, live easy.
Discover Regal Granola. Crunchy, flavorful, bursting with berries, seeds, Regal almonds, walnuts, pecans. High in fiber with real orange juice. Get Regal Granola, the perfect snack for your lunchbox.
I see her, and I want her. I got to have her. Hey.
Again, season's greetings. It's going to be a tremendous 2026. Let's have that mindset. Let's project positivity and see how things pan out. I think it's important, mindset. But we'll talk about that later on. We have some time when we open the lines to go through all that we want for ourselves going into the new year, which is in a couple of days. In the meantime, let's remind you ways you can contact us. Make the request to sit with me on the couch in 2026 or to join me on the Zoom line, tmb@cnc3.co.tt, our email address. Really simple, nice paragraph. And our producer will sort you out ASAP. Let's head across now to our social media handles. Instagram, Facebook, and X, very active via the social media space. We are also very active on the mobile app. It's a must-have on your smartphone, the CNC3 mobile app, your number one source for verified breaking news. Let's put that up one more time so you could, again, get the app. That's the social media, but we have the app here now, which is indeed our mobile app. That's right. That's it. You're looking for that? On your smartphone, you're good to go. The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Oh, yes. A must. Get your copy today. 108 years in the business, right? So clearly we know what we are doing after all these years. Get your copy. I would say Lots of stories there today, and well, of course, the sport page as always, giving us all a perspective on the cricket. You can visit guardian.co.tt for more. Let's set our food for thought. Words to inspire on this Monday after Christmas. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Beautiful words indeed. Let's head across to our weather update, and today is expected to be partly cloudy with scattered showers. There is also the low to medium chance of a heavy shower or thunderstorm developing in isolated areas. In the event of a heavy shower, gusty winds and street flooding can occur. Now the forecast high is 30 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 29 degrees Celsius in beautiful Tobago. So you're seeing the map there? See the clouds? It's moving. It's going to be a wet one, so just be prepared. Let's take a pause and we open the lines early on this Monday after Christmas. Open forum as we come back, and then we might even do it again after 7. See you soon.
Your healthiest life with the garden foods. Every meal is a chance to nourish your body and fuel your day. With the garden foods, vegetables, freshness and nutrition are always within reach. Quick to prepare, packed with fiber and full of flavor, because eating well should be simple and delicious. From freezer to table, enjoy real goodness in every bite. Available at your favorite supermarket.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Ah, Christmas, the season of love, laughter, and just a little bit of chaos. Sometimes the ham has other plans, and sometimes you just need to call Granny. Digital Postpaid Family Plan keeps the family connected. Now everybody can be in the Christmas line near or far, starting at $500 for 2 new postpaid customers. Get 200 gigabytes of data plus 1,000 anywhere minutes to share more of those festive vibes that make this season brighter. Because at the end of the day, Christmas isn't about perfection, it's about real connection with Digicel.
A mortgage is what helps you turn your dream of owning a home into reality. First Citizens helps you plan for every other cost, such as insurance, maintenance, and utilities. Mortgages build equity, offer long-term investment, and give you freedom to make the space yours. First Citizens is here to help you understand your first steps to a mortgage. First Citizens.
Welcome back. Let's give you a chance to touch base. 624-8721, 627-8658. Before you even get into some of the leading stories, just if you want, you could share with me how you spent the long weekend, the Christmas weekend, Christmas into Boxing Day, into your Saturday and Sunday. For me, I went down Erie to the family house there. My mom, Auntie Annie, Uncle Dave, all my cousins. It was really, really nice. Really nice. And the first time I spent a night in the family house since I was probably a little boy. So it was really nice to just get up in Erie there, get that nice, cool country breeze. You know, goat in the background, bah. Oh, what goat? No, whatever goat, whatever noise goat does make, I can't remember myself. Goat by so, dog barking, chicken. Oh, it was nice. You know, really, really nice. Only go there. No, that's anyway. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the country sounds, and it was very quiet, very peaceful, and just really a nice chance to just reminisce and reflect and go through all the memories and hear some new stories So I think, in terms of family being at the center of the Christmas, I really, this time around, and even last year too, because I had a cousin who came down from Washington last year and she spent Christmas with us. So we also had a family get together last year. So really happy that every year, well, I'm seeing now, it seems like it's going to be some kind of tradition where we just get a chance to meet up, and I think that is what it's all about. And it was no such a gift exchange, it's just spending quality time with the people who are family, or your friends who have become like family. So that was really a beautiful, beautiful experience for me. Let's head to St. James. Compliments of the season, St. James.
Compliments of the season to you, Jason. I have a little, what should I say, a complaint about the fireworks. Mm-hmm. What is the reason of trying to put something into effect and there is no action taken? Mm-hmm. Up to last night, up to yesterday, from as early as 3 o'clock, we are hearing these loud banging noises of the fireworks that, and up to about 11 o'clock last night, these big booms. And why isn't the police putting this into action? There's something that I saw on the news last night, actually, that our Prime Minister did make statements about it, etc. But what is the reason for putting something into effect, such as the banning of fireworks, etc., and there's no action taken? So it's upsetting my dogs. It's up to last night, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night, and people going to work this morning, and I think action should be taken. It doesn't seem to people, doesn't seem to care about the elderly, the dogs, babies. So this, I would really like to find out what is going on. Yeah. There's this policeman that comes on a Thursday, and Thursday is going to be a holiday. So
I'll ask him the following Thursday in the new year. I'll definitely put a question, because what you're saying is spot on, and the reality is this was one of the issues where, surprisingly, the divide in Parliament, they were able to meet in the middle on this one. Opposition and, government and opposition, everybody agreed that, hey, we have to quell the fireworks. And now you're saying that, people still having a time with it, and it's being a bit... as
I said, up to 11 o'clock last night,
And I think St. James is kind of one of those areas that's supposed to be within the city limits, where it's not supposed to be any kind of major development with the fireworks. We're talking about the big fireworks, like the big boom,
and it's more coming from on the main road and further up on through the area, up on the hill, and it is disturbing. It is really, really disturbing. I don't know how my dogs, we have to feed them as early as possible, because there are two of them they're so afraid of the fireworks that we can't get them to eat, and they're trying to run away, and so I can't understand.
I'll ask
something to effect.
I'll ask a question
for
you.
Taken.
Well, thank you, St. James, and I'll definitely ask a question for you when I have a conversation with Officer Russell. Hey, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Season's greetings.
Morning. Season's greetings to you and the entire E3 team.
Yes.
Blessings to you. Jason, you asked a question earlier about where our dump is in Tobago is in Mount St. George.
Yes, and so I got the answer, but the reality is, the point I was making, I guess, is that you all would have done it the right way. I've been to Tobago so many times. My grandfather's from Tobago, and I have no idea where the dump is. I've never seen it. It's well tucked away clearly, as opposed to, unfortunately.
Yeah, up in the hill.
Yeah, unfortunately here in Trinidad, the dump is there, especially on the way to the city and going down south. You can't miss it. So you can't see it at all. You smell it at least. Is there any road close to the dump in Tobago?
Yeah. Street close to the dump.
People.
But it's not a major road like the highway.
Okay. Do people go there and get the same kind of business enterprise that happens here? It happens in Tobago with the dump also?
No.
Wow.
It's well guarded, well protected. People not allowed to do that kind of thing.
Wow. Tobago really, if I was in Tobago's different, you know. Tobago. Thank you, Tobago. Let's go to Lambo. We're in Tobago. 2 calls from Tobago this morning. Welcome. Lambo, welcome.
Yes, JW, what's it, one of the season greetings, what's the point of passing legislation and cooperating, and is it a show and then no action taken?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense? And yes, the lady is right. Even in my area, you're still hearing, we say we are in a state of emergency. How are we to distinguish gunshot from fireworks? Because it's hard to tell. And the thing about the fireworks, JW, right? I am from Bamboo. The Central Police Station is about 1.5 miles away. You don't need, it's easier to detect the fireworks than to give a ticket. I'll tell you why. Because your head is long explosion, plus you can see it from a distance away. So you can't take action. There's no excuse. And after I saw on television, the same station, where people they were shopping for fireworks, trolleys full, but more fireworks than groceries. So I suspect there is going to be an onslaught within the time permitted, and that is going to condense into chaos.
Yeah.
And again, if politicians, people don't fear you, your legislation, you know what? They just have no respect for law and order in this country, and you have no influence. And your personality and your influence is of no use, because again, passing legislation and no action to me is like just like everything else. It serves us no good. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, it was Bamboo actually, not Lambu. So thank you, Bamboo. Well, I'm surprised because let me tell you, Olias is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday, then Wednesday, and we know what happens right minutes before the New Year's. So let's see if there's going to be a change. And based on what the callers are suggesting, probably not. We'll talk some more after 7. Your news update next.
Good morning, I'm Kay Marie Fletcher with Headline News on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is pressuring government, demanding it reverses the decision to hike traffic fines and fees. She says the move is unfair to citizens already struggling with the cost of living and shows the administration is contradicting its own promises. But a political analyst says government can change course, but fails when it doesn't communicate clearly with the public.
The issue is not what you do, it is how you do it. And then it is important that when you are doing certain things, that it should not be leaked. You shouldn't hear about it on social media, but there must be a clear communication from government explaining the why, the what, and the how.
But Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has once again defended the hike in fines as vital to restoring order. Ahead of the THA elections, PDP leader Watson Duke is once again urging his supporters to back the Tobago's People Party. In a social media post on Sunday, Duke called on PDP members and activists to put aside past differences and support the TPP in 2026. He admitted the goal is to block the PNM from returning to power in Tobago, saying this moment is bigger than internal politics and about what is best for the island. Taking aim at the PNM, Duke accused the party of failing Tobago, treating it as an extension of national politics instead of respecting its identity, needs and future. The THA elections are set for January 12th. Police are on the lookout to enforce Trinidad and Tobago's new fireworks laws. The TTPS confirms the Fireworks Regulations 2025 are now in force and urges citizens to stop the improper, unlawful or unsafe use of fireworks. Police warn reckless discharge endangers lives, property and communities, especially children, seniors, vulnerable persons and pets. Officers say they will issue warnings where appropriate, but prosecution remains on the table. The TTPS says firm action will be taken against breaches with heightened intelligence-led patrols across the country. Officers also warn that all offences reported will be investigated. Those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. on the TBC Radio Network.
joy and wonder. Fa la 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 la.
Bring joy to your world this Christmas with Kaleidoscope Paints.
Life. What a wonderful journey we're on. Each stage is unique. And at Tata Life, we not only understand, but also appreciate that you'll have different needs at different times. So trust us to protect you and yours with our comprehensive range of financial planning solutions to ensure that you never, ever have to worry. To learn more, contact a Tata Life advisor or visit tatalife.co.tt today. For the many stages of your life, Tata Life, a member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Meet baby Max and his friends. Growing up strong means getting the right nutrients. That's where Astamin C comes in, packed with essential amino acids and vitamin C to support healthy growth, brain development, strong bones and muscles, better immunity, and appetite in picky eaters. Just 7 drops a day in milk, juice, or directly by mouth. Simple, effective, and nutrient-rich. Give your little one the boost they need to thrive. Astamin C. Healthy growth made easy. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Well, to the traveling public, especially those who use the priority bus route, it's going to be a different, I would imagine, reality come 2026. We are seeing some developments, and not only the increase in what the maxi drivers will have to bring forward in their quarterly contribution to the government. We consider the customs duty fees and the increase there, so obviously we're going to see an increase in not only bringing in a maxi, which is already a very expensive investment, but everything on a maxi, there's a cost. Tires, brakes. This is a vehicle that is getting a constant run. So I would imagine parts and changing out to ensure it's in working condition. There's lots to consider. And to really give us some detail and to speak in a direct way to the traveling public, I want to welcome the president of the Route 2 Maxi Association, Brenton Knights, here with us this morning, and your colleague, Bernal Carter, secretary also of the Route 2 Association. Gentlemen, before we get into the serious talk, let me extend season's greetings and thank you so much for taking of your time to be here with me this morning.
And same to you, season's greetings to you, the station for having us here, the traveling public, our valued customers, our drivers who toil and continue to keep the wheels of the economy turning, regardless of what we face over the years and seem to be facing presently today and in the future.
Well, I mean, you all really move the nation, and that's not even that's the reality of it, you know. Whether it's on the bus route for those who work the southbound, those in the west, those even deep south from that Sando to Point Fortin area. But as we consider the bus route, we're a major cross-section, that major thoroughfare, getting folks to and fro from Port of Spain back to Arima and beyond, and who use the bus route. What is this increase going to do to, firstly, the goodly people like yourself, maxi drivers, and those who work the bus route? Because it's a 300 now, to moving to 600 feet, it's a 300 increase.
Yes. So based on the increase that they give, obviously what they are saying is that no, we will have to pay 100% more what we are paying currently for the use of the priority bus route. So we were paying $1,200 a year, which was broken up quarterly as $300, as he said, which is now $600 a quarter, so it'll be $2,400 a year. So we are expected to now pay that 100% increase.
Will that put a major dent in the, when you look at the overall economic, I would imagine, vitality, really, the economic overall bottom line, as it were, when it comes to your business? What impact will it have?
It will have an impact. We don't have so much of a major impact. And the main issue here is not so much about the dollars and cents. The issue here is principle, lack of concentration. And again, when you look at the toll that we are being asked to be paid there, we also will be faced at customs, as you rightfully say in your opening remarks. It have oil, it have tire, it have brakes, it have bearing, all these serviceable parts of this vehicle that comes into customs have additional costs now, so we're going to get hit there also too. So, but the issue here is principle. The minister did not have no consultation with us, no consultation whatsoever, and he went in the regulations that governs the bus route. And his argument is that at the end of the day, that he needs to do this for the sustainable part of the PBR unit. But in the PBR unit, there are maxi taxi permit, there are temporary permits, there are letter permits, and there are permanent permits. How it is only maxi you're asking to pay to sustain the PBR unit? And your claim to fame is that you remove 600 vehicles off of the bus route. 600 letter permits that was in circulation in the ministry for many years that have not been paid. And I guarantee you that there are almost similar amount in the ministry when you combine the temporary pass, the letter permits, and the permanents. All of these people and them permits who getting permits and passes to use the bus route, none of them paid. The only people you're asking to pay is maxi taxi. When you look at the other part about it, when he talk about the infrastructure of the bus route, not only maxi use the bus route. You have emergency vehicles because say, okay, we'll give them an exemption, ambulance and fire service because we're talking about life and death. Okay, what about all the protective services? What about all the government vehicles? What about all these other people and them using the bus route? The bus route is a toll road. How it is only maxi you're targeting to pay over the years, only maxi.
Have you seen an increase in traffic on the bus route? Because naturally people take the bus route because it's the fastest way to get to and fro as opposed to, let's say, the main road with a million stops. But based on what you're suggesting here, well, I can't say suggesting, what we have seen as fact, where many people would have been given bus route pass, and we've seen private vehicles there and people who might still take a chance, who still have the belly to take a chance. What's the current, what's the traffic scenario like on the bus route on a daily basis?
From time to time it varies, and it varies because of lack enforcement. And it have a saying in Trinidad and Tobago, the only thing that stops cricket is rain. I tell you, when a little drizzle come, no law enforcement. The bus route is a free-for-all.
Serious?
I'm telling you.
Wow. I mean, but now, when we consider what's going on and clearly the bus route being that main thoroughfare, and more so people having to get to the bus route maxi from City Gate, in all your years doing your trade, have you seen, is there any kind of improvement to the City Gate facility, to the facilities you all operate in? Because I used to travel bus route all the time, and I went with my son to show him the route, and I remember saying, my God, nothing really changed, but that was a couple of years ago, because he's out of school now. Tell me there was some improvement.
No. Well, if I would say there was an improvement regarding the little that we tried to do to make our membership a little more comfortable in operating, because there are facilities that we put in place, as you would hear us mention from time to time, where there's a 24-hour toilet facility that we put in place for our membership, where you have a card, you could swipe and go 24 hours a day to access the bathroom. There was never that for over 28, 30 years, however long we've been there. So any change that is there is what we implemented or for the backbone of the membership, and what we continue to try to get ideas and solutions, and we even put proposals to the government, to the ministry, to assist us with no heavy burden to their pocket. But the change you're probably asking for, it's still similar, it's there. It's there, probably worse in some instances.
My mind is blown, because I'm thinking that there would have been some kind of improvement. But let me go back to the dollars and cents. I know you said clearly it's a 100% increase, that 300 now to 600. would the traveling public feel any kind of impact? Will this have to trickle down?
Well, we don't want to outright and tell them that and take that stand. That is not our position as a responsible organization. What we do, we look at the risk assessment for our operational cost in terms of being viable. That will be a factor, but our operational cost is being affected from many different angles. And yes, that is part of it, but it's not the first option that we're looking at. What we're asking the government is to repeal this first and let us have dialogue in the discussion about where the other fixed penalties, because that will affect us also too. Although I hear the Prime Minister and the Minister talking about they do affect law-abiding citizens. A law-abiding citizen driving on the road, and even I hear economists last night talking and saying that how law-abiding citizens have no to worry about that. You as a law-abiding citizen could be coming down the road and you could get a cracked windshield at any given time. You could get a smooth tire because you go down in a pothole or you go across one of them lines and then what WhatsApp dig up and it send out your alignment and you drive for the next hour or so, your tire gets smooth. And our law enforcement come and see, you could get a blow bulb any given time. It happened to me just about last week. I had to change 2 bulbs. We recommended corrective violations. Fix a ticket. That is all over the world in first world countries.
Well, I do a segment with the team. We've been doing it for the last 4 years, Get Something and Pave. I mean, I do have access to the bus route. So we do the main roads and certain areas within the community. What's the condition of the road on the bus route, that Arima to Port of Spain route?
But just about a couple of weeks ago, I will say plain, I sent pictures to the Honorable Minister, Mr. Eli Zachary.
Yeah.
I sent him pictures where bridges by Cora before Makoya, well, the fixed Dabadion, right? Spikes sticking out by those bridges, puncturing driver's tire. Potholes all over the bush. I sent him the pictures. That is almost going to a month now. Nothing. Mr. Adande Pickett, I sent it to him. Also, nothing.
And then we have to consider, well, my goodness, well, I guess, I don't know, probably we might have to get some kind of special permission to highlight that. So I'll look into that for 2026. What's the condition or the conversations like with the TTPS and the security forces? Because we have seen, especially that viral video where the most brutal robbery that took place, and I know you all have to face that particular danger every single day. Coming out of that most unfortunate scenario where everybody in the nation was able to see in real time, because he had a camera. So I imagine that in itself is another investment that will have a cost to put in your maxi just to capture everyone. What's the conversation like? Are there constant conversations with TTPS?
Well, prior to, it was a day right after that robbery that went viral, we had a meeting, but the meeting was scheduled before that robbery. So it was just coincident that we had a meeting with the head of OLEP, which is former OLEP, yeah, it's a different name now. And we had that conversation regarding the security issues. They went in depth. Obviously, there were a lot of things they didn't bring to us, but they had plans on coming out on the roads, whether it's the bus or the main or the highways, to implement certain plans. And there were things that we suggested as well that they took into consideration, for sure. And we've seen it. There's a change. We've seen certain security aspects happening a little more now in Citygate. Because I don't know if it's branching from that meeting as well, but there's a new head at the transit department as well. There's a superintendent now, Mr. Joseph now, and since he has been there, we've had a good conversation with him, a good rapport back and forth, and there were times where drivers were probably needed a little assistance, and we've seen a little progress, we've seen a little increase. And this that we've seen, we're talking about the same thing. We could go into the condition of Citygate. This is what we've been asking. We have been asking for over 28 years more and keep going and going. So it will, we accept it, we appreciate it. We're not saying they're not trying, but we've seen that change to see. But we hope for more, and we hope for a consistent. We hope for something a little more consistent as well, because that tends to happen. You will see it today, next 2 weeks it fades away.
Do you see a constant presence? I know there are certain areas on the bus route. They will always have the roadblocks, Kweze, Curep, around Carib, sometimes Mount Hope over the hill, Tabadi at certain intervals, Eddie Hart. Have you seen regular exercise where they're checking on cars, or even if something was to take place, they're so close by they could probably running on perpetrators?
Well, we see, as I said, Mr. Carter said, we see a little change with the new head in transit, and that coming out of that meeting with the director there. He'll be a very proactive person, and he said some certain things, and he gave some certain direction. So we see that change. But let me touch back on Citygate and put Citygate in the real perspective, how it really is. Citygate is probably the largest hub in the Caribbean. The volume of people that pass through Citygate is more than the Piarco International Airport. When you go by the airport right now, presently, it have police, a few police vehicles parked up there. You will see Piarco International security people, personnel. You will see also traffic wardens, and you will see other security personnel they operating in Piarco International Airport. And I guarantee you, if you come in Citygate, where the more people pass through in Citygate than that international airport on a daily basis, if you are able to see 2 police officers 24 hours a day, it's like if you see Christmas. Picture right now telling you, the volume of people that pass through Citygate is more than international airport in this country, one of the largest hub in the Caribbean. And if you are able to see 2 police officers round the clock 24 hours, meaning that you could come 10 o'clock, you could come 1 o'clock, or you could come 3 o'clock in the morning and see a police officer, it's like if you see Christmas.
I never thought about it in that way, when we really do that comparison between, let's say, Citygate and Piarco. The only other hub I could think of where we'll be moving that amount of people would be halfway through in Jamaica, and there is, from what I would have observed traveling in Jamaica, a very strong presence. I mean, Jamaica, they also go through the same problems that we go through. And halfway through, I could tell you, that's their version of Citygate, right in the heart of Kingston. Gets people from all over to Portmore, to St. Anne's. And similar kind of scenario. Yes. But there's a presence. I've seen it.
Well, we have talked about Citygate tirelessly till we dry, we tongue dragging on the ground. Just imagine this other scenario here. We're talking about safety and security for the citizens. You go in any government building right now, as soon as you walk in, it have a scanner. That to protect the minister and whoever in that government building. We have proposed and said, but look, carnival time, all you want no bottles, all you want no weapons coming into the capital city. How it is you have put scanners in Citygate?
Let me ask you, what's the for those who might be differently able, wheelchair bound or that kind of stuff? Because I know clearly the steps. I remember it from back in the day. I've always said Citygate, there's the potential for it to be so great. We could have my vision for Citygate is a skywalk taken so people won't have to cross the road to get to the bottom of Broadway there. I've also seen in my mind escalators, what made me look to save up to buy a car? When I was about 20 years old, a rat ran over my foot in Citygate,
JW.
A rat, and the rat wasn't, the rat was galloping like a horse,
JW, let me do something that is unorthodox maybe on your program. Let me just check to see if you have a crystal ball. It seems so. It seems like you have a crystal ball because what you're speaking about is exactly what we have been saying and proposing. It even had that reach in the court all the way to the Privy Council that one of the agreement when we left Broadway was to build a skywalk. To build a skywalk so that people wouldn't have to be crossing Broadway. All of that is in a court judgment in the Privy Council, that evidence in Citygate. When you talk these things to some of these people and them, they're telling you about is a heritage building. And you don't want to modernize. If we get that is what we're asking for people, and we're asking for we to manage, and we will put in these things at no cost to the state.
You know what, Brenton and Vernal, I want you... Vernal. I want you all to make a promise. Let's keep this conversation going in 2026. Let's touch base early in 2026. Let's keep the pressure on those who are able to change this particular decision that was made, and let's see if we could really collectively bring an upgrade and bring that vision to life. Because Citygate, yes, it's a heritage building. It's been there since the days of the train. But for the life of me, I tell you, as a rat run over my foot, 1 o'clock in the morning, I was doing overnight them time and living around Wales, and I did a tremendous horror. The rat gallop, and I said, no, and I started to save.
Balance?
You understand? And I'm saying, when I took my son to Citygate, I say, how Citygate looking the same from since when I was in my 20s, and I'm a big hardback man now in my 40s. So let's keep the conversation going for next year, guys. And all the best. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it very much.
Respect, man. Respect, man. Goodness, I really enjoyed this conversation here. We're going to keep it going for 2026. We take a pause, and we come back with more.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve it. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Our massive clearance sale is on at Shivam's Premium Variety Store, located at the top of Mukarapu Street, San Fernando. Come check out our unbeatable prices on toys, jeeps, slides, swing sets, ride-on cars, scooters, play pens, baby items, mini appliances, vanity sets, and much more. We offer high-quality products for the cheapest prices guaranteed. Open every day, including Christmas. Don't miss out on this massive clearance sale. You can also earn points and cash back while you shop. Only at Shivam's Premium Variety Store Limited. For more info, contact or WhatsApp 776-5510. Upgrade your home this Christmas at Arima Door Center. We've got premium wooden doors, modern bathroom vanities, and LED mirrors in stock now. Designer shower heads for just $300. Plus, check out our stylish ceiling fans and hardware. Visit us at number 4 Cleaver Road, Arima. Call 642-3509 today.
Señoritas, today we would like to introduce to you the original Barang Soca King, King
Welcome back. Abigail David joins me on the Zoom line. She's a financial advisor, just giving us some tips, financial tips going into 2026. Let me extend greetings to you and the family and Happy New Year in advance. Abby, great to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you so very much, Jason, and same to you, and as well to Trinidad and Tobago and to all the viewers that would be here for this segment.
That's right. Very important conversation, you know, the financial map going into 2026. We're coming out of a season where many would have had a major spend, and then you don't even get, you know, well, for those at least, not everyone. We can't assume everyone is into the carnival and will take part of in the cultural experience, but for many who take part in it, that's another financial kind of buying where, you know, not only paying for the fets, but you want to look good going into the events. So where does one really start, especially if that is part of your forecast going into 2026?
So if you planning on participating in Carnival, I would hope you would have started working on your saving plan since around August, when you would have started your fitness journey as well. But for 2026 in particular, now would be the perfect time to start. Starting with breaking down everything into phases, what you're going to do for 2026. And the first thing we always have to start with is our review of 2025. So for anybody out there who really wants to have a better 2026 onward, the first thing you have to do in your plan is actually sit and look back at 2025. You're going to watch through your assets, and your house is not an asset, your car is not an asset unless you actually work those things. When you finish those things, you're going to put your liabilities as well. You're going to minus your liabilities from your assets, and you're going to see where it is you're ending this year and what it is you have to start the new year. You know, Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of countries in the world going through a lot of financial crisis. Prices are high. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people actually did not spend as much for this Christmas as they usually do. And it's all with understanding, of course, that what is going on in the economy going across the board. But first and foremost, we have to really sit down and think about where we really want to go in life. A lot of times we have all these big plans, no money to finance these plans. And nothing is wrong with having a big plan, but when you break it down into smaller plans, into smaller goals, attainable goals, that it will help you not give up on it. Those are the things that we need to start financially planning the right way. So my advice will always be to first review the year, which is 2025, construct a framework going forward where you would put an action plan in place, and a proper action plan. Phase 3 would be setting investments, your targets, your taxes and all these things. Phase 4 is your risk management for 2026. And risk management sometimes comes up in somebody getting injured, or sometimes a car accident, or loss of a job. All of these things are things that we all as a people should be putting in place, we should think about. And I would always say to anyone, ask for help. The mindset that got us into a pit is not the mindset we're going to need to get us out of that pit. So a lot of times we just have this attitude in Trinidad and Tobago of we want to fetch, we want to have a good time, we want to have a good life, but everything is at balance, right? We have fun. Having fun is very, very, very important, but we first have to start with actually figuring out where we're going, putting something in place, so that when we actually having fun, we're not worried, oh good, I'm going to have fun, and then tomorrow I'm going to ask my neighbor if he could lend me $500 to go to work for the rest of the week.
So let me ask you, Abigail, when it comes to disposable income, and discipline, sometimes those two don't really go hand in hand, because you're speaking here of that having fun, especially if you have children. You still want to give young children a little experience, a little date out, a little movie, a little, some kind of experience, obviously. How does one manage that disposable income, if at all there is room for disposable income?
There's always room for disposable income, unless you're actually not working at all. But let's be honest, most of us really have a discipline problem. We don't have don't have enough money problem. We have a discipline problem. For a lot of times we get a raise. For example, let's say our boss decides to give us $500 extra this month. Before the $500 even hit our account, we already spend it. Might not be physically, but we might have spent it mentally. So when it actually comes into play, now it's almost like if the more money you get is the more problems you have, because a lot of times we stretch our hat so high that our hand can't reach it. So when things actually come up that's supposed to be a blessing, we actually look at it as it didn't really happen. So you're not really looking at it in the positive way that it really come. This is why it is important to have guidance. This is why it is important for Trinidad and Tobago and anybody else who's listening to start working together as a team. I always believe teamwork makes the dream work. We have such a mindset of I can do it by myself, or we have a mindset of I will go and ask my neighbor. If this person is not actually in a position that you want to strive to be like, that person might not be the person to ask for advice.
If there's lots of debt, let's say credit cards, it's short, and you're working and you're just trying to pay back and you're not seeing your way, and you find that you're spinning top in mud, and it's almost like you're just not getting at ease. How does one get out of that particular slum?
First of all, there are people out there who have budgeting agencies, budgeting companies. For example, we have people that we work with that helps people understand how to budget and how to budget to pay back debts, right? And this is why I say again, always remember there's always somebody who can help you. If you don't know, there's always somebody you can reach out to. There are companies out there that are put in place for these things that will help you to make better the financial decisions. And to me, and this is just a personal opinion, if you would have reached a place where you spend so much money and your credit card all the way out there, first of all, we're starting with a discipline problem. All right, maybe you might want to set up something to pay off your credit card and give yourself a space to actually bill your money back. So if you like to spend it, I always say you have to figure out how to earn it extra. So if you are a person who like to spend, you like nice things, you like to go out and do the most, you should also have a way. Let's say you have a 8 to 4 or a 9 to 5. You should also have a way to make extra money legally. So when you're bringing in this extra money,
I like how you say legally, and you just you're stressing it, and it's important because yes, you don't want any kind of hustle to put you now in a more brutal financial bind where you have to get lawyers and face the system. So I'm happy.
Exactly.
I'm happy you stressed on that. Well done.
Yes. So we as a people, we have to genuinely come together as a nation. We are in a space where our country going down, and it's not only the people who considered poor or the people who considered any working class who feeling it. The business owners also feeling it, because remember, the people who consuming, if they are not able to purchase, the business owners not going to get people to come in. Right there, if you walk through Port of Spain, and there are so many businesses that closing down. So my advice is always going to start with, yes, it's going to be good to start a plan. It's going to be very good to put things in place. It's going to be very good to break down the year into 4 quarters. You're going to have your time where you do your organization. You're going to have your time where you do your assessment. You will have your time where you start back to save. But before you even start that, you have to first figure out where you are going, where you have been, and sit with somebody who can genuinely help you. Because I could come and tell you, this is a good place to put your money. This is a good place to go to help you pay off your credit card. This is a place, I could tell you all of these things. I could also even tell you about how to develop a cash flow, how to refinance your, all of these things we could talk about. If you don't have proper discipline first and a proper guidance in terms of holding you accountable to what it is you actually say you want, a lot of times you will find your way going back down the same road you went last year.
And sometimes,
for example,
that road is really, online shopping, going to the mall, not missing on a sale, the fear of missing out. You see sale and you get excited, and
missing out.
And you go to get stuff. You go to get stuff you probably already have, but it's just something on the newer side. Walk me through the discipline. How does one hold a strain when that is what motivates you?
Learning delayed gratification. It's something we're supposed to teach our children. How to delay gratification. A lot of times we have this fear of missing out. We have this fear of, if I really sit down and I put my mind to it, or let's say I talk to my parents, or I talk to a sibling, or I go to a financial advisor, because they are financial advisors in different sectors, right? And I go to this person. How do I start to really build the discipline within me? And it all starts with you starting with a shift in mindset. You see, we have this mindset of, if I don't look good for example, if I don't look good, or if I wearing all these brands, I wouldn't fit in. Me personally, I don't care about fitting in. I don't care about, being in the mix of things. So I will use me as an example, because I know a lot of times people forget what you tell them. I have probably 40 black t-shirts. I also own probably about 40 black tights or multicolored tights in different aspects of life. Let's say I have 3 pairs of shoes, and I know one is to go out, one is for working, and one is for exercising. I have to understand that I want to achieve, let's say I want to have 5 pairs of shoes by 2027. I have to know, okay, for the next 3 months, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put aside, if it's 3% of my salary, and I'm going to start putting that aside every month so that when the time comes to buy whatever it is, it's not I have to take out a large amount of money from my money to buy it. For example, Christmas. Christmas is something that we should have already been planning for since around August, especially if you have a larger family, as well as parents who going into the season of books around August for the kids. They should be starting to plan how to save that money around May, right? May, March, and for those people who actually don't have jobs. I know you have to have some source of income and you have some skill.
Yeah.
Every single person on this planet has a skill.
Yeah, and you could tap into that. You know, Abigail, I mean, great discussion. I think we have to definitely continue this in 2026. So discipline, delaying gratification, having a forecast, planning ahead, very important. And I know that hopefully with that kind of advice and hopefully with the discipline that's required, we could find ourselves in a much stronger financial standing in 2026 and beyond. Abby, all the best to you and the family, and we will touch base next year, guaranteed.
Yes. Have a wonderful day.
Same to you. So coming out of the financial discussion, let's get into some health tips as we prepare for a new year in literally 2 days. Health tips for 2026 with Nandini Samuel. She's up next.
Watch the passion building and the voices roaring with the mission done and the game is won. When the music talking and the big stage calling, the culture comes alive and it's just endless vibes. The future's bright, be more bright. Now it's sweet time, the time to shine. Life is on, it's no time to be timid. So chase those dreams, live without limit. On with Be Mobile.
This is John. John has just opened a new restaurant and is already questioning his life choices. Observe his eyes. He's trying the open wide to stay awake technique. John worries about many things like that overpriced stove, but there's one thing John doesn't stress about: his investments. First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for almost 2 decades. Invest with us.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
Advance your career and increase your earning potential with the University of Bedfordshire's MBA program at CTS College. This UK-accredited MBA is globally and ACTT recognized and is the most affordable in Trinidad and Tobago. With 6 intakes per year and the option to study 1 unit at a time, you can complete the general MBA or one of 6 specializations in 12 months. And with flexible entry requirements and payment options, students with various backgrounds can enroll. Contact CTS College today and find out how you can get $12,000 off.
Nandini Samuel is here with me as we get into another important discussion, this time treating with our health, our well-being. Yes, finances are very important, but your finances could be all the way up if you're not in good health. You can't enjoy it. You'll give away all just to feel good again. So the reality is health is, as we always say, our greatest wealth. And I want to thank Nandini for being here. And let me also extend not only season's greetings, but sincere blessings and all the best for 2026.
Thank you, Jason, and same to you. Good morning to your viewers, man.
Great to have you. So we're dealing here with realistic health goals for 2026, how important is this tied to diet? Before we even get into how to get there, I know diet plays a major part in this conversation.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to define what a goal is, right? So it is a clear intentional target that you set out to achieve, basically. But you have to ask yourself why. Would it thrive or would it survive? And when it comes to diet, that's something that research actually shows that 77% of persons actually fall off their goals within the first week of the year, while 19% at the end of the year achieve their goals. So with diet, what I've seen is, yes, you set resolutions, you set goals, but they don't always achieve it because, one, it's extreme, it's very unrealistic, and it's vague. Those are the three things. So with respect to diet, it's very, very important to be clear and intentional with what you set.
Because obviously to stop anything that you've been doing cold turkey.
Yeah, you can't do cold turkey at all, because the thing about it is that I've seen, being a dietitian for almost 7 years now, the first thing persons come, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 50 pounds within the next 3 months. And how is that realistic? My thing is, goals supposed to be very SMART, and I'm sure you know the acronym SMART. So it must be specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, relevant and timely. If it's not that, you would never be able to achieve it.
For those who, let's say, take supplements that might burn it off fast, or who might consider going under the knife, what's your advice in that regard?
Okay, so in terms of supplements, I don't always recommend supplements. I mean, diet and balanced eating is always my first priority. You should consult somebody, a professional or a dietitian like myself, to find out where you should go, because these things are short term. The weight always comes back. And I've seen a lot of diets. I mean, we'd have the water diet trend that went on last year. Then where persons actually did not eat for a period of time. Then we have the ketogenic diet.
People do that water diet a lot for carnival.
Correct. And it eventually causes you, some persons end up with nutrient deficiencies. It causes them to end up in a state where their body, after carnival, shuts down. And they don't speak about it because nobody asks, or nobody knows what that person is going through at that point in time. So it's very, very important to be realistic, to be healthy at the same point in time. Because let's just say, I mean, you want to lose, I'm just giving a regular example, you want to lose 50 pounds, as I'm saying. And within that 3 months, you starve yourself, or after you are going to want to obviously splurge or eat a lot of food after. So within that category, you are not making yourself happy at the end of the day either.
Now, Danny, we're in a time here of excess. Christmas time, people sometimes go beyond the boundary when it comes to food and the delicacies and the sweets. And culturally, and this is something I would have also put forward to medical professionals who would have been on the program, concerning that cultural mindset, or what we have seen over the years, where people go into this detox after, or as they say, the purge, the clean out.
Right.
So you eat, and then you figure you could flush out and you're good to go.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on that?
So detoxing to me makes no sense, because your kidneys and your organs, your liver and so on, is there to detoxify the body naturally. So when it says you add things like doing colon cleanses, and yes, it has its benefits, but also there's a lot of harm within that. So it's very important to know what you're doing. I would say detoxing means to me more eating more fruits and vegetables, things with fiber. Fiber is bulk, so it helps to remove whatever waste products via your stool. So doing things like that, or maybe eating consistently throughout the day, drinking more water, having small goals. Like, let's just say, Jason, you don't eat vegetables at all, but your goal this year is to eat better. So including just one vegetable for the day to start with, rather than, again, going cold turkey, is not something I would advise.
A lot of people sometimes fall off because of the lack of preparation. I think prep is very important.
Consistency.
For the person who lives by themselves, and even that person who lives with a partner.
Yeah.
Walk me through the two scenarios, how we could improve on our prep.
Okay, so what I would say, most of my patients, what I tell them is that, yes, you are willing to change, but being willing to change your mindset and your willpower is two different things. Actually being single, I mean, by meal prepping on a Sunday evening for 3 days straight, could actually help you to eat better. So let's just say for the first 3 days, you know, okay, I have my life sorted out. And the other 2 days, even if you buy meals on the outside, that I will help you to guide that are healthier. Now, with a partner, it's even easier because you have that assistant with you there. You could split the work, and it's also important to set goals that are realistic. It's within your environment, within your scope of work, because if you know you work at 8 to 4, then you don't go and set a goal, okay, I'm going to exercise within that period. You make yourself available to do it after or even before you go to work. So, I mean, everything goes hand in hand, but a single person versus a partner, it's different. And I would say somebody who has that help, who has that motivation, does it better.
Walk me through those who you've been able to form your community, sometimes the after-work climb, which will include drinking, smoking.
Yeah.
You know, you find that sense of release with these group of people. Could you still be part of it and not partake? What kind of discipline does it take to still be in that space? So does one have to remove themselves entirely from their community so you could avoid the drinking and smoking?
I disagree with removing yourself entirely, because sometimes, again, if you go back cold turkey, it will make you want to go again. So smokers, I have a lot of patients who are smokers. I wouldn't tell them to stop like right away. What I would tell them is, like, you cut off certain amounts for the week, or maybe you leave your pack of cigarettes at home, and that actually worked for one of my patients, and he eventually stopped smoking. So as it pertains to the environment that you're in, yes, it would apply, but let's just say you stop doing it entirely, then in that case, then problems would occur.
Yeah, I mean, and I've heard of people you know, getting issues with the diet, belly. I mean, because remember, a lot of these substances, you know, the body is in tune with it, and when people stop.
Yeah.
And granted, we want people to have a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah.
I guess even with stopping, there is a strategy in stopping.
Yeah, there is definitely a strategy in stopping. So it's really about your mindset there in that aspect. What I would say is write down your goals. Write down what you want to achieve by when you want to achieve. So simply, I'm sharing one of my personal goals is, I want to read 3 leadership books by the end of March. And I'm very specific with it. It's measurable, it's attainable, relevant, and timely. So once you are setting it in such a way, I think it would be more achievable than you just randomly doing something that, you know, you want to do.
You know, lots of folks, especially the working population, the life is so fast-paced, having to leave home, get into town or Sando or wherever your place of work is, and you'll go for sometimes the quick fix, you know, something hot in the morning just to keep you going, and that seems to be a routine for many. Every single day they're having. I don't want to call out any particular
I mean,
item.
I could call it out, like doubles.
Or pie.
Or pie. Or something that may not always be healthy.
Lots of flour, ghee, you know,
Correct.
grease. I mean, one, I guess a week is okay, but there's some people who literally every single day.
Yeah.
That could have an effect, right?
Definitely. So chronic diseases is rapidly rising in the country. And as you know, I'm also the president of the Health and Nutrition Association. So because the fact that what we eat obviously has a part to play in our bodies and what eventually could happen to us. So in that regard, I would say to persons who actually does that, they need to understand, first of all, what it's doing to their body. If they don't understand it, then they're not going to stop it. So for instance, if somebody comes to me, and I would have patients like this regularly who may be security officers or work overnight all the time, and their first meal may or may not be something that is quote-unquote unhealthy or has a lot of fat in it. And what I would tell them, there's where meal prep and discipline comes in. If you're not disciplined to actually make that change, then you would never be able to do that. So for instance, as we made a reference with doubles, if it is, I tell you, okay, you could have a cup of chana instead of ribara some days. Some persons actually get accustomed to that instead. So it's really not cutting off, it's making small changes at a time. Adjusting, yes.
The importance of water in the diet, especially for the youngsters, the young ones who get up every day is juice, soft drink, no water. How does a parent, because it's a struggle I actually still have with my son, trying to get him to drink more water.
Yeah, so hydration, again, is very, very important. But what I would say to parents who struggle with that, it's maybe starting off by, a lot of children love flavored things because they are accustomed to that. That's what their taste buds are accustomed to from very young. So what I would say is maybe adding a piece of fruit to it, or maybe starting off with something like 100% fruit juice, because there is juice drinks and there's soft drinks. But do you know, Jason, that there are some juice drinks that has higher sugar content than a soft drink? and diluting it doesn't really help as much. So what I would say is maybe start off with slowly, at least once for the week, you put a piece of fruit into it and start by giving them that. And that could help increase their water intake, or fruit smoothies. A lot of children actually like slushies and smoothies, make it healthy at home for them.
That's right, that's right. Any kind of little guilty pleasures there still? We could still snack a little bit and have our cake and our sweets?
Of course. So what I do personally is that I love donuts and I love cake.
Yeah.
But do I have it every day? No. And when I do have it, I'm not going to sit down with a whole cake at once. I would maybe have a slice a week. And that is healthy for me because I know that makes me happy. And throughout the week, I'm also eating healthy. So what I would say to persons out there, it's very important to also treat yourselves. You're human, you are going to want to have things that you enjoy, and it's okay to have it. Mindful eating is something that I always tell patients. When you feel full, you could actually stop. You don't have to sit like at a gathering. You don't have to sit and eat out the entire plate at once. Yeah, when you go to a family member, you don't have to sit and eat out the entire thing.
I also wanted to ask you, for those who are extreme pepper lovers, who have gone to the point now of actually biting in the actual raw pepper.
I saw that.
Right, what is scorpion, who wanted, what I tell you, hot. Could that have any issue on the dietary system? Could that cause acid reflux? Could that in any way impact the system?
Yes, correct. So some persons even end up with like damage of certain things like the gut lining and stuff when they overdo it. Sometimes their bodies, not everybody's body is the same. So that kind of impacts the inside internally, and they end up with acid reflux and they end up on medication and stuff. So some persons don't see the effect till after. Yeah.
Now, Danny, as we wrap things up really quick, how do folks contact you online?
Okay, you can reach me out at the Health and Nutrition Association of Trinidad and Tobago, or Rainbow Nutrition, and I'll be happy to help you.
That's right. We're just looking for that online.
Online, yes. Instagram or Facebook.
Nandani Samuel, touching base, giving us some tips going into 2026. All the best to you.
Same to you.
We take the pause and we come back to officially wrap things up for today, Monday.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 Trin or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 Trin or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Level up your home this Christmas at Arima Door Center. Grab a chandelier for $900 or LED bathroom mirror just $700. Purchase a stylish vanity for $1,750. We're at number 4 Cleaver Road, Arima. Open every day, including Sundays. Call us at 642-3509 today.
Your healthiest life with the Garden Foods. Every meal is a chance to nourish your body and fuel your day. With the Garden Foods, vegetables, freshness and nutrition are always within reach. Quick to prepare, packed with fiber and full of flavor, because eating well should be simple and delicious. From freezer to table, enjoy real goodness in every bite. Available at your favorite supermarket.
Stomach discomfort again? Bloating, cramps, irregular bathroom habits? Meet Vivera, your daily support for a balanced gut. Vivera works fast to help reduce the abdominal pain, ease bloating, and support healthy digestion. It helps restore balance to your gut so you can get back to feeling light, comfortable, and in control. Choose for real digestive relief, safe, effective, and trusted for both children and adults. Now available at pharmacies nationwide. Vivera, feel the difference.
Yes, indeed. Our first show after the, well, I would say long and, well, hopefully for many, restful, but for some, I would actually say for most it would have been hectic. Probably for a few restful, but nonetheless, it was a great long weekend, Christmas weekend, Boxing Day, straight into our Saturday and Sunday, and clearly we are back out for, well, today, tomorrow, and only as Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we welcome 2026, and with that hope, that turning of the particular leaf, that desire for us to do better on a personal level and collectively as a country. So with that being said, just a quick recap of our headline, our top stories today inside the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. We look at the front page one more time. Some youngsters there, all smiles for the Mass, the Holy Innocents Mass. This took place yesterday at All Saints Anglican Church. Of course, the Prime Minister speaking to the penalty, defending the hefty penalty hikes. Of course, our back page, treating with the cricket and some action there from AFCON, African Cup of Nations, that's going on right now. And of course, our brief, a man having a time there at Maracas Bay, and Prime Minister Holness, a matter of fact, from Jamaica, maintaining that the region is indeed a zone of peace. With that, I'm going to make my exit. Have yourselves a great one today, TNT. God bless, be safe, and, well, God spare. I'm back for more tomorrow, right here on the Morning Brew. Have a great one, TNT.
Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long, stay strong.
You're watching CNC3. As an affiliate of Al Jazeera, we now join their current program.
I'm Rashad Salamat in Doha. This is a look at our top stories right here on Al Jazeera. Volodymyr Zelensky says a draft proposal